Welcome back to Rave Culture Cast, you guys, your weekly guide to the EDM community, music festivals, and more. Today, we are going to be talking about one of the biggest festival announcements, which dropped last week. Forest fam, you know I'm talking about you. Electric Forest dropped a massive lineup for 2023, along with all of the information we have on ticketing and camping packages, as well as their loyalty program. So in today's episode, I'm going to go over everything you need to know about your ticketing options, what's included with your camping, and then I'm giving a breakdown of every single artist on the lineup because yes, I went through every single one Spotify, so hopefully you can discover some new music today, and if there are names you don't recognize in the lineup, we're going to be talking about them today. So that is what's in store. But before we go any further, you guys, I want to share a quick message from one of our friends of the podcast, Zound. So Zound makes my favorite high fidelity earplugs. I saw a post this week from Michael BB, who is a very well-respected house music DJ at a doctor's appointment because he had damaged his hearing from all of his shows and performing in clubs, and he was getting new in-ears put in. But it's just another reminder of why it's so important, not only for artists, but for fans who are in front of the speakers. These are high fidelity earplugs, so they protect the quality of the sound. It's still super crystal clear, but it reduces the damaging level of noise. These are really discreet. They come in a little clear casing that fits all ears. They're super comfortable, and I just feel like these are a perfect stocking stuffer. So I carry the Lannister, Game of Thrones. I carry the little canister in my fanny pack and in my hydration pack, so I never forget it. But you can use code EMMAK to get 10% off your orders. ExperienceZound.com, discount code EMMAK. And the only other thing I want to mention to you guys, if you plan on going to Okeechobee next year, I have a $20 off code for you. So my Insomniac affiliate link is down below, but just through the month of December, you can get $20 off your Okeechobee ticket. The code is OMFDEC20 off. That's OMFDEC20 off to get $20 off your Okeechobee tickets only through December 31st. So again, you can use my Insomniac affiliate link down below and get $20 off your Okeechobee tickets with that code. Everything will be listed down below in the description box. All right, with all that being said, you guys, I want to dive straight into today's episode. So typically I do lineup reviews and breakdowns on my YouTube channel, but they always end up being so long. And like I said, I've seen a lot of chatter online as it happens every year. Electric Forest has a super unique lineup, and typically there are a lot of names that you don't recognize. And so that makes people think, it's a bad lineup or they don't get as excited about it. And I can promise you this, after going through every single name on this lineup, the talent is insane, and I'm so jealous of anybody that gets to go next year. So you're going to discover some of your future favorite artists. There were already people that I added to my playlist that I was like, fuck yes, I'm going to be listening to them a lot. I did put together a Spotify playlist for you, so that will also be linked down below so you can listen to the sounds of Electric Forest. I know the festival put out an official playlist as well, but if you want to check out my recommendations based on everything I talk about today, I will link that playlist down below. So that's everything we're going to go into. And I should quickly mention this off the bat. I'm not attending Electric Forest next year. My friend's wedding is that weekend, so I'm not going to be able to make that happen. It breaks my heart, but love her and her fiance dearly, and I'm super excited for that. So it's just the way it works out next year, but you guys are going to have an amazing time. So with tickets going on sale this week, the week the episode comes out, I want to go through ticketing options first because I was a first timer this year, and I know the ticketing always confused me, and there's so many different plans and options. So I'm going to break it down for you so it's super simple. So let's start there. Alrighty, you guys. So let's talk about what's new for 2023 because Electric Forest posted this on their Instagram. There's a couple options that have changed. So first up is Lucky Lake Campground. So this is a brand new lakeside campground that's going to offer expanded opportunity for those seeking an elevated camping or RV experience. So it's going to be lakeside. You can go for a swim during the day or enjoy nightly HQ hosted beachside bonfires. Lucky Lake RV add-ons also come with a power hookup as well as water. So that is a new area. Camp Higher Love. It says Camp Good Times is evolving to Camp Higher Love. This GA option offers larger camping spaces, features a shuttle running directly to the main festival entrance, and includes the Higher Love Lounge, and comes with private air-conditioned restrooms and showers. So that's a more elevated experience that you guys are going to get. And this is also important to note. Vehicle passes for 2023 are going to be required for every single car. So in years prior, you would only need to buy one vehicle pass for your whole group or something along those lines. But now every single car that enters needs this pass, and it's an additional cost. But the reasoning for that is this allows HQ to have a better idea of how many cars are going to be coming. Which I think is really helpful, because one of my issues with this year was leaving the festival was an absolute shit show, and hopefully they're going to work on the efficiency of that. So just note that if you are bringing a car, you're going to need a vehicle pass for this year. So that is everything that's new. Now I want to dive into our ticketing options, and I'm going to go in order of what's on their website, which will also be linked down below. Plenty of resources linked there, you guys. General on sale. So if you have never gone before, if you have no loyalty codes or anything, is on sale this Friday, the 9th. I'll talk about the loyalty program in a second, but you guys should just check your emails. If you have gone in the past, you should have received an email with information on what days you can purchase, and you should be getting your own link and code to plug in for the loyalty program. And basically that means that they can buy tickets earlier than the general on sale. So I do want to talk about something really quickly, because this seems to be the main topic of conversation, is the pricing this year has definitely increased. One thing I will say off the bat, after experiencing my first Forest this year, and now also seeing the lineup, which there's a lot of headliners here who I'm assuming are very expensive, I think the cost is 1,000% worth it. Still, not fun to see that increase, because it makes it much more difficult for certain people to go. But I will always be honest with you guys, like Ultra is similarly priced, if not a little bit more expensive for GA passes. And I will tell you, I do not think Ultra is worth it for that experience, but I would 100% pay every penny of this GA pass for Electric Forest. So you can go back and watch my vlogs and everything, but it is worth the money. And I will tell you that right off the bat. But let's talk about it. I got a couple DMs, some people being like, EDC Las Vegas isn't even this expensive. Like, how can we really justify the pricing? First off, EDC Las Vegas is a 3-day festival. This is a 4-day festival. You are getting 4 days of incredible music. Just look at the lineup. Thursday, Odessa is a headliner. You've really, really big acts playing on Thursday. Your price also includes your lodging. So you're getting a festival pass, and you're also getting, your lodging where you're going to be camping for the 4 days. So with EDC, you have to pay $400 to $500 for a ticket, then get your hotel, or you have to pay for Camp EDC on top of it. It's not included in the festival pass. So that is also included. Obviously, the lineup is absolutely incredible. And then just the experience in general, it's hard to put into words, but it was the most beautiful festival experience I've ever had. So 100% take advantage of the payment plans, you guys. I did the payment plan. I bought my ticket in 2019 for EF 2020. Obviously, we know what happened. I held onto my ticket for 3 years and was finally able to go. Literally bought it in 2019 and finally attended in 2022. But I believe my down payment was like $40-something, and then it was 3 installments after that of $144, because I just looked at it yesterday. So I paid like $45 up front, and then it was $144, and I paid off my whole thing. So that made it more manageable for me to pay for it. The other thing I will say too is the way pricing is happening and just life getting more expensive. I've talked about this before, but I think just picking one big event per year is kind of going to be the way to go moving forward, especially if you're being more budget conscious, because it is just getting more difficult, and we have a very expensive hobby that we have all picked. We love it very much, but we know how expensive our hobby is. We have to fly places, we're traveling, buying camping gear, like all of these things are really, really expensive. So if you were to do forest, I would say invest in this festival and then do smaller ones the rest of the year and maybe switch on and off kind of thing. And that's what I did in my early 20s, mid 20s. I literally just did EDC Las Vegas every year, and that was like the only festival that I did, plus maybe like Electric Zoo or Governor's Ball, because those were local to me. So those are all the things I would say. Again, everybody's comfortability level with their finances is different. And if this isn't doable for you, that's totally understandable. But I am just saying, like, these are all of the reasons as to why I think it's still worth it to go to Electric Forest. So that is that. Like I mentioned, there is a loyalty program, which is really unique to Forest that I love. So you can check it out on their website. The loyalty program starts with 4 in the Forest. So essentially, if you've gone to Forest 4 times, that's like when the tier starts. And then there's 5 in the Forest through 10 in the Forest, which is really cool. So there's different perks that you get by attending multiple years in a row. And that can be like reductions in your ticket costs. So there's a whole table breakdown on their website, anything from, getting $15 off your pass to, if you've attended 10 forests, you get $185 off your pass, which is awesome. So they do give you discounts. And then, like I mentioned, if you've attended a certain amount of forests, you get early access to tickets. So I know that's where people get tripped up a little bit, because there is GA loyalty and there's Good Life loyalty. So like if you've attended in the past, once, so this is what I have, you'll get a code and a link. So technically I could buy December 8th instead of buying December 9th. So you do get access a little bit earlier to ticketing. Don't panic. That's the next thing I want to say to you, because I know everybody panics about getting tickets. Don't panic. If there is a will, there is a way. Even if tickets sell out instantly like they have done in years past, there is an official resale program. I would highly suggest jumping into that. Plenty of people get their tickets through that. People have to sell their tickets, especially as it gets closer to the festival. So you will find a way. Friends might sell tickets, things along those lines. So just wanted to mention that. Do not panic. Do not be devastated if you don't get a ticket right off the bat. There's definitely ways to get in there. With all that being said, I'm going to breeze through tickets relatively quickly because I really want to spend this episode talking about the lineup. But let's dive into camping passes really quickly. Alrighty, you guys. So if you go on Electric Forest website, and I will pop it up here, we already have the camping map, which is exciting. So you can kind of see what I'm talking about as we're going through this. But there are GA camping areas. There are RV camping areas. Like I mentioned, there's this new lake campground. And then Good Life, which is one of the elevated VIP camping experiences. So you can see on the map where everything is going to be located next year, along with group camping, which is what I did in 2022. Highly recommend that as well. So at the bare minimum, your GA pass for 2023 is $485 plus fees, which again, I know is expensive, but I highly recommend doing the payment plan here. And that includes, so as to not get confused, your camping wristband includes your festival ticket and access to a camping spot. So you're going to get a wristband. That's your admission to Electric Forest, and that will give you access to GA camping. And then where you end up from there in the layout of the map is totally dependent on when you arrive to Electric Forest. So this includes Thursday to Monday. There is early arrival that you can add on to your pass. I'll throw this out there. Each is an extra cost, but you can add on Wednesday early arrival, and I believe Tuesday early arrival is available as well. I know people who went on Tuesday this year who loved it. They got like one of the best, camping spots, because the earlier you get there, the closer you are to the festival entrance. I did Wednesday early arrival, 10 out of 10 recommend it. It's just like a nicer day to get in and set up your stuff early. And again, I did group camping, so we had a spot reserved, but just so you know, your normal camping wristband will be Thursday to Monday. Everything else is an add-on. So that's $485. Then you have Camp Higher Love, like I mentioned. This is like a newer name that they're doing, but that gives you the Higher Love wristband, same thing, access to festival camping. And then you can see on the map where this is located, but these are larger spaces. So this is a new thing, air-conditioned restrooms, showers, and then you have to buy your vehicle pass again, like I mentioned, for everybody. Then you have Camp Hush. Camp Hush, as it sounds, is a quiet zone. So if that is important to you guys, you may very much want to invest in the quiet zone because there are obviously RV, like renegade parties that happen at nighttime. So Camp Hush is a more expensive cost at $725. Again, a larger space, nicer air-conditioned bathrooms, all that stuff. So that's definitely like elevated GA. Then you have GA Maple Woods Camping. This is $855. So everything we're going to talk about is going up in price now, guys. This one is more expensive because it's in a really nice shaded area. Pretty much all of GA, other than that, is in a field in the sun, so you need to bring a canopy if you want to get shade, but Maple Woods is under the trees, so you have that kind of shading, which is really nice. And then you have access to controlled campground, again, air-conditioned bathrooms, all that stuff. Then we have effortless camping. So this is for somebody who definitely wants something that's pre-set up for them. So if you are, you don't want to bring your camping stuff, you're not driving, or you don't want to fly with it, I flew with my tent and my camping supplies in my suitcase and fit everything. So that's totally doable, but that's probably a separate episode. But if you do effortless camping, it's $1,500, and that includes 2 bands. So 2 of you can camp in this preset tent. Again, just check out where that is on the map. That also comes with the tent, sleeping bags, and a sleeping pad that you can go home with. So that's why that cost is that amount. Then, like I mentioned, we have Lucky Lake Camping, which is brand new. So this could totally be an option for you guys if you want to be lakeside. Like if that's something that interests you or you want to be in that area, that could be really fun. But it is $855 for 1 band, and that will get you access to lake activities, air-conditioned restrooms, dedicated showers. All right, now I want to get into the Good Life Village. So again, if you are a newbie and you're listening to this and it sounds overwhelming, I'm trying to break it up as helpful as I can, but basically all of that was GA and then like elevated GA. So essentially you have like the most basic, which is $485. That will put you in anywhere in the GA campgrounds depending on when you arrive. You'll get a better location. So say you're camping in GA and you show up Friday afternoon, you're probably going to have a shittier spot. You know what I mean? It's just the luck of the draw. Then, like I mentioned, you have Maple Woods, you have Lucky Lake. So that's all placement oriented depending on where it is on the map. So it's nicer if you want, quiet, then you're going to go to Camp Hush. If you want Maple Woods, you'll be under the trees. So there's different like elevated GA options. Good Life is something different entirely. So Good Life is your VIP program. And if you see on the map, this is like all the way off to the right. It's a totally separate section. I believe there were shuttles, like shuttle buses that drove you from GA to VIP because it is a hefty walk. Let me just tell you, I didn't even go over there, but it's far as fuck. So Good Life Village also has a separate entrance. So GA, pretty much all of GA camping and RV come, I guess you would consider it like the south entrance, which was near Tripoli, that stage that you enter. Good Life, they enter all the way at the top near Sherwood. So they have their own like separate festival entrance. The other cool things about VIP, I believe they have their own stage, which is really cool. They had a silent disco, I think. So you have like all this separate stuff available to you if you want to do Good Life camping. I will just say this sells out almost immediately because a lot of the loyalty program people want the VIP tickets. So it gets harder to get these, but it's not impossible. So with these, you have Good Life Village camping is $895. That's like the base, not basic, but that's like the lowest tier of Good Life camping. That's 1 wristband, and you get the VIP camping experience. You still have to buy the vehicle pass, and that includes the camping close to Sherwood Forest. So again, it's really easy to get into the festival, shortcut entrances, exclusive parties and happy hours, VIP viewing areas, shuttles, and a complimentary extra night to celebrate the spirit of the forest. So that's what you get with VIP. Now it's going to go up from there. Good Life Sherwood Court tent only camping is $895. So this area is obviously like tent only. It still allows access to your car, which is nice because usually in GA you park near your tent. And then we have Good Life AC landing tents. This one is basically $2,500 for 2 wristbands. So 2 of you can camp there. This is a preset tent with air conditioning. So that's really nice. So basically think of like an air conditioned shift pod is essentially what this is. Then you have Good Life Electric Avenue tents. This is about $2,700 for 2 bands or for 4 bands. Spacious, preset, bell tent. I'll pop up pictures here. So that could be either 2 people or 4 people. Then you have the bungalow tents. This is $2,900. This is either 3 or 4 people. So 3 or 4 wristbands are included in that price. And this is a really nice safari tent. So that's why that's so expensive. And then you have the back 40. So the back 40 is an intimate and exclusive area, part of the VIP program. So this is like cabins, log homes, wooden campgrounds. As it is my knowledge as like a baby forest fam that like the loyalty program people who are like 8 in the forest, 9 in the forest, 10 in the forest, like they wipe this out almost immediately because they've been doing it for years. So like more power to them. But I didn't even look at this as an option because I was like, the veterans are taking that shit. You know what I mean? And as I'm going through this, you guys, like, please leave me a comment below if this is helpful because I know this is so fucking overwhelming how much information I'm throwing at you. But I hope that the combination of like the map and the photos of these like camping options, I hope this at least helps you picture it because I just remember looking at forest tickets for years being like, I'm so fucking confused. I have no idea what is what. But hopefully you're sticking with me so far. So we are still in this like Good Life VIP camping. So the back 40 camping is about $1,800. That includes 2 to 6 Good Life wristbands. And again, this is like a private wooded retreat. They have their own pool, all kinds of crazy shit going on there. Then there's the Good Life Back 40 RV, which is $1,900. That includes 2 to 6 wristbands and a premium location for your RV. The RV spots include RV hookups, water, sewer, electric, which is really nice. Then you have the Good Life Back 40 log cabins, which are over $5,000, and that's 4 to 6 people. Then you have the 40 log homes. That is $8,200. That includes 6 to 10 passes. So again, you're splitting that cost with a bunch of people. And then you have the Good Life Back 40 Enchanted experience, which includes 2 wristbands. That's $4,100. That's lodging with air conditioning, parking, very luxury kind of experience. Then you have the Frontier Suites. So this is the kids suite is $3,600. It includes 2 to 6 wristbands. This is a hotel situation. So I'm not even going to get into these guys, but there's a bunch of hotel options as well. There's 3 separate ones. So you guys can check that out as well. But that is everything ticketing related. Group camping is not on here, but what I will mention about group camping is it's a separate cost. So you still buy your camping passes. So buy your GA pass for $485. The group camping is in GA camping. So you don't want to buy Maple Woods or something like that because those are specific locations and you can't do group camping in like Maple Woods. You can't do group camping in Lucky Lake area. So what I did last year in 2019 is I bought my GA pass. So buy your pass for $485. That will get you access into the festival and that will get you your GA camping pass. And then group camping goes on sale separately at a later date. They will make announcements on their pages when that's happening. But what you need to know is you and your group should be ready. Have your group figured out. You need to know exactly how many people are going to be going. Know all your shit. We had literally a team leader assigned. We had Google spreadsheets. Like everybody who was on board with it because when they go on sale, you need to snatch those tickets up really freaking fast. Like all of us went on and bought our tickets. So I think we had about 42 people in our group camp. The group camps go up to like, some of them have like 100 plus people in their group campsite. So they go quickly and it's a limited area. So basically they will release the group camping passes. At the time, don't quote me on this, I think it was like maybe it was like $50 per person on top of what we paid. And that solidified that you got a reserved spot in group camping. And then like your team leader, you need to assign someone as like your team leader. They submit your group camping name. We were the Lunchbox fam, but there were so many funny group camping names. So your team leader will submit the name of your group camp, and they will submit like how many people it's going to be. And then Electric Forest will assign you a spot. And then later, like I think it was the month of in June, we got like a map of group camping, and you had like a lot, number, and letter. So you knew exactly where you had to like park your cars. And then that lot, everything was sectioned off with like little ropes. That was your lot. So the nice thing about group camping is obviously like if you have a caravan of people and you know you want to be together, opt for group camping. Otherwise, like I said, it's first come, first serve. So if you didn't do group camping and you still want to camp together, you should all meet up in the same place before you drive to Electric Forest, and like as a caravan, follow each other in line so that you can park near each other. Otherwise, like you're going to be split up. So that's the really good thing about group camping, which is really nice, but those passes will be sold separately. All right, I'm almost done with ticketing, you guys. Like I said, this is going to be a long episode, but it's like literally everything you're going to need to know. So let's talk about the add-ons a little bit more. I just want to like drive this point home for you if you're a little confused still. But like I mentioned, every single person, if you have a car, you need a vehicle pass. So each vehicle entering needs this pass, including Camp Hush, Camp Higher Love, Maple Woods, and Effortless. You need this pass. It's $75 for your car. If you want to do, it got more expensive. If you want to do Wednesday early arrival, it's $100. So that will get you in starting at noon on Wednesday, so you can set up camp early. This pass is required if you are arriving on Wednesday. Each campground has its own pass. So I don't believe that every single person doesn't need one. It's per car. So don't go spend $400 if there's 4 of you in a tent. $100 per vehicle, not per person. So don't all go buy a Wednesday early arrival, okay? If you are in a car of people, only one of you needs to buy that. And then same thing, if you want to come on Tuesday, it's $125. So you can pick and choose. If you guys want to come early, you could either pay $125 to come on Tuesday, one per car, or you can pay $100 to come on Wednesday. Then you have the RV add-on. So I have a lot of friends who are doing the RV situation. They literally have their RVs rented already. It's $300 to do an RV in the GA area. Again, there's a whole RV camping area on the map. So you pay for your camping pass. So you pay like, let's say $485 plus fees for your GA pass. You need to pay an additional $300 if you want to do an RV, and you can obviously split that amongst everybody in your RV. I believe you get up to 6 people in an RV, I'm pretty sure. So it costs money to bring an RV. If you want an RV with plug-in to power, it's $700 plus your GA camping pass. And then same thing for RV. You can either just do an RV on its own. You can do the RV with power. If you want to arrive early, it's $25 to arrive on Wednesday with an RV. So you can only come as early as Wednesday. And then, like I mentioned, the vehicle passes are still included for Lucky Lake camping. The RV add-on with power is $800 at Lucky Lake, or you can just do early arrival, no RV, $100. So I think that's pretty much everything, you guys. The VIP RVs are a little bit more expensive. Instead of $300 for your RV, it's $375 for your RV. Instead of $700 GA for RV with power, it's $750 for RV with power inside of VIP. So it's just a little bit more expensive. There is a Good Life brunch option, which is $45. Yeah, so one day of brunch is $45. It's offered daily. You can buy 4 days of brunch for $160, and it takes place from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. There is a drink menu of Bloody Marys and mimosas for 21 and older, and it is I think it's what did it say? Like you have a fancy chef basically cooking for you. Acclaimed top chef finalist. What? That's awesome. Who is it? I fucking love Top Chef. Chef Sarah. That's so cool. Okay, so you got like a top chef who's like serving that. So anyway, those are all the add-ons, you guys. That is everything. I'm going to take a super quick break here. And then when we come back, the rest of this episode is literally going to be talking about the lineup. And I'm going to be sharing music samples with you of a couple of the artists so you can actually hear what this lineup sounds like. And again, my playlist will be linked down below. So we'll be right back. Hey friends, just a reminder that if you are enjoying this podcast, it would mean the world to me if you could connect with us at Rave Culture Cast on all of our platforms. We also have a Facebook group and a Discord server as well, which has an Electric Forest channel. So if you guys are planning on attending next year, come and join the Discord. We were all talking about the lineup this week, like popping off in that daily. So definitely come say hi there. And of course, subscribe, write a review, do all the things. These episodes take me hours of research to put together, and it is coming to you for free. So it would mean the world to me if your currency was writing a review or sharing this podcast or just hitting subscribe. It takes 2 seconds and it means the world to me. So thank you guys so much for doing that. With that being said, let's dive right back into the episode. Alrighty, you guys, now is the fun part. This is what I'm the most excited for. So buckle up, grab a snack, grab a drink. I need to get some water here. Hold on a second. You girls parched out here talking about these tickets. Let me just say this. When I saw this lineup drop, it physically hurt because, again, I know I'm not attending next year. And so I knew it was just going to it was going to hit a little, but then I saw the names and I was like, ouch. So here's the thing, and I mentioned this earlier. This happens all the time, and I'm guilty of this. Raise my hand. I am guilty of this. I remember in 2019, I think, seeing the festival lineup and being like, not that excited about it because there were a lot of names I didn't recognize. And I'm proud to say, 3 years later, having fully dove into dance music, I'm super proud of how much time and energy I spend into discovering new acts. And so and especially after doing the research, I can't even talk about how much talent is in this lineup that you guys don't even realize. So you're going to discover some gems today. But this lineup is so unique. I had somebody DM me saying, or somebody left a comment that was like a hate comment being like, I can get this lineup anywhere. No, you fucking can't. That was wrong. You can't get this lineup anywhere. This is not like EDC. This is not like Ultra. You have String Cheese Incident, who is running this festival, doing 2 incidents for the weekend. We'll talk about that in a second. You have jam bands. You have singers and songwriters. You have an 11 person band, multi-instrumentalist playing dance music. You have a rock pop dance music group from the Congo celebrating African culture. You have beatboxers on here. You have world famous DJs on here. You have dubstep. You have bass music. You have house music. It is a diverse lineup. You have women. You have non-binary artists. There are a lot of Black artists on this lineup. So we're just going to shut that comment down real fast. No, the fuck, this is not like another lineup. That comment just irked me so much. So we're going to talk about it today. Let's dive into it. First and foremost, when I saw the headliners announced, 1, fuck you guys for getting this lineup because I'm so mad at you. 2, it made a lot of sense why the tickets were more expensive this year because these artists cost a shit ton. First off, Odessa, Illenium. Illenium's got to be expensive. Chris Lake, Griffin, I'm just naming a couple, but I mean, I could be wrong, but these names are very big and a very nice lineup. So let's go through it. Thursday, we're coming out the gate hot. You guys are getting an Odessa show, Jamie XX and Sophie Tucker to kick off your day. And I remember being at Forest this year because it was my first 4-day festival I've ever done. And I remember just being like, I cannot believe this is only day 1 and it's only Thursday. That's how I felt on Thursday. I was like, this is wild to me that I have 3 more days after this. So again, you really get your money's worth. But I've never seen Odessa play live. I would love to see their live performance in the Forest. That's going to be magical. Sophie Tucker, I'm a huge fan of. They are an incredible live, I would say a more house music act, but Sophie and Tucker are so funny. I love them as people. Mega talented, really fun live show. Friday, you have Millennium, Griffin, Lane 8, and Ganja White Night. Absolutely incredible. It physically pained me seeing Griffin and Lane 8 on here because Griffin was on the 2020 lineup and I love him and I didn't get to see him because he was removed for 2022. So they brought him back. But you get everything. I mean, you get a Millennium set in the Forest, so you're going to get all the melodic future bass vibes. Griffin's probably going to hit on a little bit more of that like feelsy pop kind of dance music. Lane 8 is probably going to be the most beautiful thing in the entire world. Way more deep melodic house. And Ganja White Night for all my bass heads. That's going to be a big one for you guys. Saturday, you have Zed's Dead, Chris Lake, and Chromeo. My brother is a big fan of Chromeo. I'm not as familiar with their music, but I believe it's a live act. Chris Lake, we know how I feel about him. He is one of the best house producers of all time. You literally cannot miss his set. I will just say this now. It's a non-negotiable. He kills every performance he plays. I just saw him again at EDC Orlando. And even my friend John T, who was on last week, who is a bass head, was like, what the hell? This is absolutely incredible. So he'll do that to you. And then you have Zed's Dead, which I know is a really, really big one for you guys. So, and they play kind of like, I don't know, they're like eclectic bass music to me. I know they can throw like drum and bass in their sets. They can play a little bit of heavier bass music. So that's a cool one to check out. And then Sunday you get Above and Beyond. I'm so upset about this. The fact that you get the feels and the beautiful trance melodies of Above and Beyond in the Forest, I'm like upset about it.
Don't forget about a thing called.
Then you have Rez, Goose, and Maddie on. So all the Rez heads, like you guys you're gonna have Space Mom and Forest, which is gonna be wild. I don't know Goose, so I'll have to look up Goose. And then Maddie on. I don't know if it's a DJ set or a live performance from Maddie on, but he is a super, super talented artist. So to top things all off, the string cheese incident. Again, if you are a newbie to Forest like I was, I didn't fully understand what string cheese was, but this festival began with String Cheese Incident. It is their festival. They do a shebang usually on Saturday, but I believe in the past they always played 3 nights. Yeah, this only says 2, but there is another artist on this lineup, and one of the members of String Cheese Incident is in this band. So technically they're playing 3 times, but we'll get into that in a second. So String Cheese Incident is like a can't miss, even if you just go for a couple minutes, which is what I did. You know, it's a live band, so it's not usually my type of music, but much respect. You got to be paid to them, and it's really cool. They like did fireworks, and they threw like all these balls and confetti in the audience, and it was this whole thing at the main stage, so it was really cool. So definitely go see String Cheese Incident at least one of the nights that they're playing. And then I want to get into the undercard here. So we kind of have like our second tier of headliners, and then we have the undercard, which are the names at the bottom. And then on their Instagram, they posted that this is phase 1 of the lineup. So again, if there are artists that like are missing from here, or maybe you're like, there's not that many jam bands on here, things like that, there's going to be more to come. So this is what we have as of right now. More lineup will be coming down the line. So let's get into our second tier of headliners. Okay, so I'm going to pull up my notes here because I have notes on every single artist. So even if I'm not going to go into full detail on everybody, but I will give you their genre. So at least I can kind of like point you in the right direction if you know you like a certain type of sound. Hopefully this will help you. So, and I apologize if I butcher anybody's name as well, but 070070 Shake is a singer from New Jersey. We had a couple people on this lineup from New Jersey, so shout out all my Jersey fam. It's contemporary rap. So she had a really cool sound. Blondish is a big one, you guys. Blondish Vivian is not only a really cool person, but an awesome deep house / she does like chiller house, Afro house, disco house. Like it's very vibey, deep house kind of sound. She is a founder of Abracadabra. She owns a record label. She's an environmental activist, really, really cool human being. So that's going to be like a very vibey house set in the forest. So I definitely would check her out if you guys are into that. And then Channel Trace is Detroit techno with a smooth groove of Chicago house and West Coast rap, according to Spotify's description. I wrote down my notes, super groovy bass lines with sexy, vibey vocals. That is how I would describe Channel Trace. And my track recommendation is Tunnel with Polo and Pan. So I'm going to play samples as I'm talking, guys, for a couple people just so you can get their vibes. But moving on to the next one, we have Chris Lorenzo, which a couple people on this lineup I've highlighted in red as like my top priorities. Chris Lorenzo is a top priority. He is an incredible house music artist, a lot more bass house. He is also half of the act Ante-Up, which is Chris Lake and Chris Lorenzo. So you will, if they do something together, I will lose my mind because I haven't seen Ante-Up yet. But Chris Lake and Chris Lorenzo are absolutely fabulous house music artists. Then we have Diesel in the Forest. So you guys are getting Shaq in the Forest, which is awesome. He plays much heavier dubstep. Super cool human being. I know he posted that he's super excited about this. So bass heads, that's like an absolute cannot miss. Emotional Oranges is an American R&B and hip hop and pop group from LA. They kind of have like a vibey, like retro feel to their music, but they were a really cool live act, and it's a male and female, I believe. Then you have Gashi. Gashi is an American rapper / R&B artist signed to RCA Records. Really, really incredible vocals. I really like the sound of their voice. What I found cool about Gashi is that there were collaborations from like rappers like French Montana to dance music collaborations with DJ Snake and Loud Luxury. My song recommendation is Sleeping on My Left, but Gashi was a new one that I didn't know that I discovered, so I really liked him. All the time, I see you. I came down and I feel like I died. Keep me alive. All the time. Gorgon City, one of my favorite artists of all time. I would 100% be at their set. They are one of the most respected house music producers in the scene. I just saw them at ARC recently, and they even played a little bit more like techno in their set, but you just have to listen to all of their albums. Like each body of work is truly beautiful, and I don't know how to put it, but I relate to a lot of their songs and their lyrical content, so I'm a big Gorgon City fan. Hayden James is, maybe you don't recognize his name immediately, but he has collaborated with so many artists you would recognize, probably one of the most recognizable names and vocalists in dance music. They're an Australian DJ / singer-songwriter and producer. Their song recommendations, I would say Just a Lover and On Your Own with Elderbrook and Cassian is fantastic. So that one will be a really, really special one in Forest. Kayawachi, again, Bass Heads, is a heavier bass music producer. If you are familiar with Sullivan King, I feel like you would very much like Kayawachi. I haven't seen him live yet, but I just always recognize him as like the super jacked, like heavy bass artist. Okay, we need to talk about these next two artists. Okay, so Mute, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but Meute, Mute, is a techno marching band. This is what I'm saying, fam. Like, what the fuck? This is what you'll get for us. They have a full-ass band. There's like 11 of them mixing in dance music elements, like, while playing all of their live instruments. Don't miss Mute. That is going to be, like, insanity. Do not miss Mute. Add that to the top of your list. Techno marching band. Yes, I'm about it. going to keep it cruising. Then I think it's Opio. It's giving major Grizz vibes. So I know Grizz is usually like a very big staple of Electric Forest. There's a couple artists on here that are not familiar, similar. So this one I would highlight, Opio. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that. Opio. It's giving major Grizz vibes. He's super funky, psychedelic dance music, a lot of bass music. I liked the track Jelly, so definitely check that one off as somebody I would highly recommend seeing. Peekaboo is probably one of my favorite bass artists because he kind of has a range of like super vibey bass tracks to like some very heavy wubbier sounding music. So I think it's called oh God, I'm going to butcher this. Babatunde is the song that I discovered him through. Very like wonky, wubby sounds that like hits you in the chest and like literally like reverberates your body. So I'll play some Peekaboo here, but I would definitely go see Peekaboo. San Holo to me is way more like in your feels, very melodic, future bass sounding, a little bit more chill. Then you have S.G. Lewis, who is an incredible singer and songwriter, collaborated with some of the biggest names in music, more on like the pop side, but also in the dance music side. Check out the song Pineapple Slice with Tuvlo. So if you guys are into more like poppy dance music, he'd be a cool singer to go check out. Sudden Death Presents Void, complete opposite. If you need as heavy as possible dubstep, this is his dubstep project where he wears like the freaking animal skull on his head. It's like Satan's music to me, so I can't do it. It's way too dark for me. But if you guys want like the heaviest possible music, go for Sudden Death. And then Virtual Riot is a cool one. He kind of ranges from like bouncier bass house vibes to dubstep, self-described as making dreamy dubstep, electro, and drum and bass. So I feel like you'll get an eclectic mix in there. Now we're diving into the undercard, which I'm super excited about because this is where I discovered the most music and the names that were like not familiar to me, and I found some gems in here. So I knew about Aluna. Aluna is a singer-songwriter that's a little bit more of like groovier dance music. Her song Kiss It Better with MK is fantastic. Highly recommend checking her out. She's amazing. Apashi's live brass ensemble is going to be fucking wild. Honestly, I posted a poll asking you guys the people you're most excited about, and a lot of you put Apache. So this one blends elements of orchestral and classical music with dance music. It's very like big, huge productions, like almost like movie soundtracks sounding to me, insane bass lines. This is going to be like a very special performance, especially because it's a live brass ensemble. Like think orchestral, but with dance music. Crazy. Austin Mills is deeply textured coalescence of soul and dance floor euphoria, according to Spotify's description. Pretty cool singer if you guys want to check him out. Azeka, you guys might recognize Azeka. I got to interview her at ARC Music Festival. She is a fantastic house/techno artist. Super sexy, kind of like clubby vibes to me. I absolutely loved her set. I saw her play an after party too at Radius in Chicago. Really, really digging her. And fun fact, she's married to one of the guys in Gorgon City, so that is awesome as well. Barry Can't Swim is another one. This one, I didn't know much about him, but he is becoming well known for his trademark blend of skillfully crafted electronic production mixed with jazz-inspired strings and keys. This was, to me, way more like super chill, soulful music. So definitely check out that one on Spotify. Black Carl is a dubstep artist, probably more on the rising side because there wasn't like a huge amount of tracks on Spotify, but really powerful bass tracks, like very like in your face, but I dug it. So Black Carl, if you guys are into bass music, add him to your list. Then we have Champagne Drip. Champagne Drip is one of those artists that I always like confuse him with somebody else, but it's more like jungle bass music, very big melodic sounding tracks, but then some of them sound like a little bit more uplifting and some get a little heavier, so he kind of has a cool range. But I think Champagne Drip will be a big one for you guys, especially if you're going to be on like the Illenium side of things. I feel like, Illenium, San Holo, Champagne Drip, more on like the melodic bass side. Then we have Sid. Sid is one of these artists that I feel like flies under the radar for a lot of people, but he's like one of the best house/tech house producers in the game. He's worked with so many artists. West End is one of my favorite collaborations. He's worked with Don Diablo, like literally anybody and everybody. Where I Want to Be is an amazing track, and Jumping with West End, two of my favorites. But if you are into tech house, Sid is an absolute cannot miss. All right, fam, we're making our way through. I hope this is helpful. Cinema Funk is, this one was really cool. Okay, so this was a Cuban music, as well as Afro-Latin identity. So it's a fusion of Black cultures. This was so fun. It was just like funky, fun dance music with Cuban culture and Spanish. Like it was fire. So Cinema Funk was what I discovered that I thought was really, really fun. Daily Bread, I wrote down, is giving funky wubs. It's electro soul / hip hop. This is the other cool thing about Electric Forest lineup, you guys. Like I said, it's not just like house, bass, dubstep. Like so many of these artists blend genres. Like it's hard to describe them. That's why I'm trying to like give you my best like interpretation of their music, but Daily Bread is one of them. Like there's just something really soulful about this lineup. If I could categorize everybody, it's like there's a common thread of like really powerful, soulful music in a way. But Daily Bread is a cool one. Danielle Ponder is a singer-songwriter. She had a super beautiful, soulful voice. So I think that will be a special set. Disco Lines recently came onto my radar. I believe he's from Colorado, but he makes like really fun, I would say on the poppier side of dance music. He's remixed a lot of popular pop tracks like Taylor Swift. He has more of a future bass / trap / house side. So it's just really like, I feel like if you want to go see like a really fun party kind of set, like a Loud Luxury type thing, you would like Disco Lines. Dixon's Violin is an Electric Forest staple. This is a 5-string electronic violin. He plays on a 5-string electronic violin, super crazy live performance. So that in the forest is pretty cool. You have a lot of instrumentalists on this. DJ Top Gun, first off, love the name, is a bass house artist. I just wrote bass house. My favorites are tech house and bass house. So DJ Top Gun, add that to your list. Dogs in a Pile is a New Jersey electric quintet merging funk, jazz, rock and roll with psychedelia. Again, I told you a lot of New Jersey on this lineup. So there you go. That's another band. If you guys want, if you're more on like the band side or indie side of music, definitely check out Dogs in a Pile. Flip Turn is also indie and alternative music. I wrote down very like dreamy, uplifting kind of sound to them. So again, another band to check out. Freddie Todd. This is another one that reminded me of Grizz vibes. So again, Opiu and Freddie Todd. If you guys are Grizz fans, I would check them out. He describes himself as an interstellar funk champion. That's all I need to say about that. Really, really fun. Okay, this next one was one of my favorite discoveries on the lineup. Geist. I'm like speechless right now. It's a Berlin-based band, so it's a live act, but their music was like melodic techno to me. So I would 1,000,000% be at Geist. Just very like melodic techno-y, melodic house driven bass lines, but they're also a live act. So I would very much be about Geist in the Forest. I don't know if you guys watched my vlogs from last year, but I said that my favorite set of like the entire thing was Township Rebellion at the Observatory, and they were also more melodic techno. So I just feel like this would be really up my alley. Then we have Golden Features. Golden Features is electronic act, a little bit of deep house with really beautiful vocals. I wrote down, if you're an Odessa fan, you might recognize the name Golden Features, and this happens to me all the time, but he's on the EP with Bronson and Odessa. Do you know when you like listen to a song a million times and there's like 3 or 4 artists attributed to the song, and you have this like narrow mindset where you maybe only recognize like Odessa on the track or Bronson on the track, and then you look closer and I'm like, you're an idiot. Golden Features was on all of these tracks that you liked, but you just never paid attention to the name. That's this kind of situation. So definitely recommend checking out Golden Features. Okay, next up we have another really big one for me. Also just got onto him within the last like couple of months, but Hugel is a house music artist, way more on like the Latin house side. Absolutely fire, guys. Like, this is another artist to watch. You probably have seen his name around, but really fucking fire Latin house artist. Like, that is going to be one you're going to be popping it to left and right. And then we have ISOXO. I don't know if it's ISOXO or ISOXO. It's like a trap house hybrid, also a name that I'm seeing like rising quite a lot. I know a lot of people are excited about him. So Hugel and ISOXO I would recommend. Jay Wara, another really incredible rising tech house artist. She's an absolute badass. She just performed a back-to-back with Vanessa at EDC Orlando. Highly recommend her if you're into tech house. Jansen is like a super wobbly, weird bass artist. I feel like he's also going to be your jam if you're into like the peekaboos of the world. So that's a good one. Jellybean Benitez is a very well-known DJ, musician, songwriter, producer from New York City. His daughter is actually a DJ as well, Layla Benitez, so it runs in the family. But I just thought that name was cool because I feel like he's very well recognized in the music industry, so it's awesome to see him on a lineup, so I think that would be pretty cool. This next one, guys, holy shit. Okay, this is another one that I was like, what the fuck, this lineup's insane. Jupiter and Oques, Jupiter and Oques. This is a band from the Congo that also mixes in like rock, funk, and dance music. I loved this music. I don't understand a word that they're saying, but it's the most beautiful and fun thing ever. So it said that they draw from rhythms of the Congo with the power of rock and funk, and it bewitches the body and feeds the spirit. Yes, the fuck it does. It is so catchy. I love that. I would never have discovered that in any other lineup. So Jupiter and Oques, I would 1000% go see. Mobley is an Austin-based singer, songwriter, producer. I wrote a little bit more on like the edgier side. It was kind of giving like retro futuristic, and they described it as seductively sinister melodies, distorted synths, jagged cuts, and propulsive rhythms. Neighbor is another folk pop band. So again, guys, if you're on the band side of things, Neighbor is a good one to check out. Noizu is easily one of my favorite tech house artists. Time and time again, I've loved him for years. He is an absolute cannot miss for me. He has so many good, like, I would describe him as like really catchy house music, because he has lyrics to a lot of his content. He has a lot of amazing collaborations with Dombresky, so it's super like uplifting house to me. Great vocals, big fan of him. You would probably recognize his song Summer 91, Middle, Catch My Love. Those are all favorites of mine. Ray Cola is two sisters. They are Chicago DJs and producers. Then we have Rohan. Rohan is a really awesome drum and bass artist. So you do have some drum and bass on here. And then Rossi. Rossi was another one that I flagged as like very, very excited to discover her. She's trap, but also future bass. I pressed play on the first, like her top Spotify song called Karma. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Hello? Because I was immediately like, I love this. So if you guys like trap or future bass, go see Rossi. Saka is super heavy wubs. It's an experimental producer, very cool electronic act. So I think you guys would definitely like Saka. satin jacket was, I wrote down super clean, very clean sounding, modern, chill house / disco house. So that one I think would be good. I feel like if you like a Lane 8, you might like a satin jacket. Snakes and Stars. So this is what I wanted to point out. If you are a fan of the string cheese incident, one of the members, Michael Travis, teamed up with Aaron Johnston of Brazilian Girls and David Byrne, and this is their newest project together. So I know the String Cheese Incident is only playing 2 shows, but if you want to get one of the members, go check out this new side project, Snakes and Stars, because when I searched them on Spotify, there was nothing that came up, but when I Googled them, their Facebook page came up. So that's just something you may not have known. Space Wizard, what it sounds like, space-based music. I wrote down, like, this is like the really alien-like, trippy, psychedelic sounding bass music where I feel like my ears are being probed. That's what I wrote down. Check out the track, That Gas, and you will know exactly what I'm fucking talking about. Almost done here. 2 names left. Thumpasaurus. I wrote down, I first clicked on their song called Struttin', and it just made me laugh instantly. They are a band that is more like funk, dance, punk kind of music, but it gave me like a sense of humor to it. Very retro sounding vibes, a really fun band. So Thumpasaurus was a fun one. And then Zingara. We had Zingara on the podcast this past year. She's awesome. She is also, she calls herself Astral Bass, but it also is kind of more of that like space bass sound. She's a really amazing artist to watch. I really like what she's doing. She combined like the ideology of meditation with one of her tracks. That was super cool. So that is everything, you guys. That is the entire Electric Forest lineup broken down for you, every single name. Really quickly to wrap this up for you, like I mentioned, the names that I did not know before doing research that I am very excited about moving forward. I would say Mute, the techno marching band. Opiu, the psychedelic, like trippy dance artist that sounded a lot like Grizz. I would say, who else stood out to me? Disco Lines, like I mentioned, I think would be really, really fun. Geist, the like melodic techno live act from Berlin. I would say Rossi, the trap future bass artist, was really cool. Jupiter and Aquest from the Congo. Fuck yes, I'm so about that. And then Thumpasaurus is really fun, that band. So honestly, like, oh, and what was his name in the beginning? Gashi. I really liked Gashi and Apache. Gashi and Apache. But so many hidden gems on here, fam. I don't want to see another comment saying this lineup sucks or you can find this somewhere else. Like, it is truly unique. It is curated so well. I think there's gonna be plenty of options for you. And just so you know kind of how it was this past year, certain days the stages were oriented towards a specific kind of genre. So Tripoli, for example, I think it was on Saturday, was like literally all house music. So for me, I was at Tripoli like all day Saturday, so that made it easier as well. Like if you know you like a certain genre, sometimes the stages are curated that way, whereas like a lot of the live bands and acts may, or like if they're a bigger headliner, they might be on the main stage, or they might be at Sherwood if it's a live electronic act, or they have some sort of live element to them. Like Fred Again was over there. And then we had the Carousel Club, which I saw a lot of DJs performing over there. So and then I have to mention, of course, the Observatory, which was my favorite stage, which is in the middle of the forest. I saw a lot of, I saw like Tin Liquor and Township Rebellion. So a lot of like the melodic techno kind of acts were in the forest, which was even better. So it's going to be a mix. I highly, highly recommend exploring and going out of your comfort zone and seeing some of these special acts that you wouldn't normally see. Like, don't just stay posted up at one stage all day. Purposely hit all of the stages. Like some of the days we just walked around and I went to, oh my God, I'm going to forget the name of it right now. But I went to the stage in the middle of the forest that was like super tiny that Ep181 played her Deadhead set on, which was like a Grateful Dead like house set that she did that was super special. Hold on, let me look up the name of that. The Grand Artique. It was called the Grand Artique. It was a super small, like little stage. I don't know, like just the themes around the stages are so cool. But you have Ranch Arena, you have the Forest, you have the Observatory Tripoli, like I mentioned, in Sherwood Court. So many options for you guys to explore. The Honeycomb is there. There were a lot of like live acts and singers that were performing at the Honeycomb, amongst a million and one other things you can do at Electric Forest outside of the lineup. So I have other videos coming out about that and the experiences, but I hope that this video and this episode gave you tons of information on your ticketing options, what's included in the price of your ticket. And yeah, I hope you discovered some new artists and music today. Again, the playlist is linked down below. I picked a bunch of tracks that I liked from a lot of these artists and put them in one playlist for you. And like I mentioned, a huge shout out to our sponsors, Zound and Okeechobee, who we have the discount for this month. Get $20 off. All of that will be linked down below. And again, if you guys enjoyed this episode, it would mean the world to me if you could rate, review, subscribe. Come join our online communities, and hopefully I will see you at a festival very soon. Thank you guys for listening, and I will see you next week. Bye, guys.